Hey y'all, this is your girl. Okay, hopefully y'all can hear me this time, because the last time it was swearing up and down, y'all couldn't hear me and it was so staticky. So hopefully this is so much better. So it is live. We're gonna cover Libra, Virgo, Pisces, and Sag. Y'all four was the last ones that did not get put into the last one, because I'm not gonna lie, I was hungry and I had to go. I was already on that stream for 4 hours. Like, listen, zoom, bye. So that's what we're going to be focusing on during the stream. Of course, if anybody else has any other questions, you can ask them. I still would encourage you guys to listen to the last stream, because the last stream we'll be talking about, which is like an extension of, which is the Uranus retrograde, which occurred on the 24th, and then on the 27th is the new moon in the sign of Virgo. Some of these signs will be affected more than others, and I do go over which rising signs will be affected more than others. If you know your birth chart, then some of those other placements and some of those other signs will be affected as well. But again, I encourage you guys to go back there. That video is already timestamped, even though it's 4 hours. It's timestamped, so you can go right to the part where I'm breaking down what's kind of going on with the new moon, and what's going on with Uranus and retrograde, and what zodiac signs are more prone to being kind of swept up in the energy in general. So yeah, y'all can check that out. But again, if y'all have any questions, I'll answer them here. I'm just mainly here to run past the signs that didn't get talked about. If you don't know your rising sign, also you can let me know that as well, and I'll help you out and figure out what your rising sign is, so that way you can listen to the horoscope. Can everyone hear me though? Can everyone hear me just fine? Cool. Alrighty, so great. Now for Virgo risings, during this week the sun moves into the sign of Virgo, so you're going to definitely feel the impact of the sun moving there. You guys just have like Mercury in the first house, but by this time it slides into the second house, but it's still in the sign of Virgo. But you'll feel the sun here, so dealing with a lot of your identity, that it's going to be linked to, job, work, service, and other things that surround those type of topics, as well as you see stuff with like coworkers, health, things like that. So like having things that do with your identity. The sun is there too, and sometimes the sun also represents fathers, so this could also be an interaction with like a father figure as well. So when this is squared over here in Mars in the 10th house, so Mars in the 10th house isn't bad, it's really great because it gives you drive at work. The only problem is when you have the sun in a hard aspect to Mars in the 10th house, is going to give you an energy where nobody can tell you nothing. You want to have like a very impulsive energy. There's going to be an energy where you can get a lot of things done, but you could probably be less prone to listen to the opinions of others. And this can also ramp you up to make more errors this week. And this is on the 24th. We're on the 25th. So this is under the Uranus goes into retrograde this day. But it's actually stationed retrograde. But you're not going to be directly hit. You'll be directly hit by the new moon, which we'll talk about after this. But that's what this work opens up to. And so you'll have this energy, obviously, in your career, because Virgo rules kind of work anyway, or mundane tasks or responsibilities. Any type of duty that has to be, taken care of. And it also rules things that have to do with like analytical skills or things that need organization. So this energy can also be pervasive there. Mars is in Gemini now, and it just entered Gemini. So these two signs are signs that are both ruled by Mercury. The difference is that Gemini has an energy where it rules the mind and thoughts and moving through ideas quickly, learning quickly. Virgo doesn't learn quickly. It doesn't move through things quickly. It deals with the details and organizing those thoughts. It's very meticulous. They both think about the mind, but one is analyzing and trying to store and make sense of the material aspect of what comes from the mind. So work is something that is an extension of what you do after you learn something. So for instance, if you are a nurse, you go to school and you learn, that'd be something of a Gemini principle. When you leave school, you go to work in the field or you apply what you have learned to task, and that is the Virgo principle. So those two are going to be squared. And so what you'll see is that there will be more force, challenges, antagonism. It could be also dealing with any type of confrontation coming from the 10th house, which can deal with career, authority figures. A lot of times it can also deal with parent dynamics. In the sign of Gemini, it can also deal with neighbors and siblings as well. It'll be squared. And so you're going to have that's where you'll have the most attention with anyway. That's where it's going to be coming from. So that'll be interesting. Now, let me see something. That's also going to be pervasive, even under the new moon. That square is going to exist even under the new moon, which that's going to be interesting too. But yeah, so your Uranus is going to be conjunct your MC. So wanting career changes, wanting shifts and changes. When the sun and Uranus is there, wanting a new identity or wanting to shift identities. Uranus is in the 9th house, and so feeling a spark to reinvigorate your sense of purpose, particularly with the same old, or the things that have been consisting or been persisting for a long time. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on with you guys under the Uranus retrograde. That retrograde is going to trigger your 10th house. So if your first house is Virgo, then that means that because of how things are placed, your 10th is going to be Gemini, and because where Uranus is that transformation is going to directly hit your reputation, resources, fame, new dynamics with changes at work that you're not prepared for. I start a new project at work next week. There you go. And so that's the Uranus transit that's hitting up there. It's hitting against it to provide a new opportunity, to provide a shift, to provide a change. When things retrograde, it can give you another opportunity. So for Chris, because you are Virgo rising, this can give you a new opportunity to get reinvigorated with work or have a new way to shine at work. If this is done properly, based looking off of how this is set up, again, like unless I look at your natal placements, what it can give is Mercury's in the 2nd house and Pluto is in the 5th. So transformation and creativity by way of work, and can give you a career pinnacle, or it can make it ease into a career pinnacle where you could make more money from organizing details and tasks and stuff like that. The only thing is that there would still be like distortion in the 8th house. So general resources, for personal resources you can make money, but shared resources, there could be still a distortion because what Neptune is doing. So shared projects, there still be a distortion, so there could still be confusion. Is there a lot of opportunity? Yes, but there could also be distortion from previous events that aren't anticipated, particularly with like sudden endings and beginnings that aren't clear, and maybe the endings and beginnings of the project aren't clear as well because of kind of what Neptune is doing, particularly for Chris, because he's directly affected. All right, so let's go to the 27th. So this is the new moon, and that's what you see, this like cluster right here. And so in the new moon, when these clusters, they're right here, they symbolize a combination of like the individual and the subconscious of the individual and their emotional state. They're harmonious. This is a great time to begin things under the sign of Virgo. I have Uranus in the 4th house. Doesn't that aspect the 10th? For your natal chart, yes. So you would have your natal Uranus aspecting your transiting Uranus. So, and then Uranus on top, like the transiting Uranus will be retrograded. So for you, because how they are, they will be in a hard aspect and they will be opposition. In that way, it will be a strong quest for independence, new directions, freedom, trying to find a positive like an outlet to try to be different. And this also indicates, because it's the 10th and the 4th, you know, getting attention for those things or wanting to be exalted in the external way, because the 10th represents the pinnacle and is what you want the world to see. The 4th also represents what's hidden and what's personal, so that's your home life. So you're going to want this independence externally and at home. So like at work, at home, in the public and in private. So you want to have that Uranus energy everywhere, like at work and at home. So my natal Uranus is retro too. Wow. You know what? I wonder, that also makes me think of like themes of what you were born under. I wonder if the certain things that you were born under or like early in your life comes back again, but not in a home way, more like an external way, which deals with like career, work, and stuff like that. Because that's what it's giving. It's giving like, I don't know. This is an interesting time for you, Chris. I'm curious to see what happens, but yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. So yeah. All right. Any question? Oh wait, no, I didn't finish. Why am I talking like that? Yeah. So your sun is going to be squared your Mars. Your moon is going to be squared your Mars. So again, can be very irritable, can be very confrontational, moody, impulsive, aggressive, can get into conflicts, particularly with authority figures and particularly in your career. I'll let you know. And this is on the 27th. And all of this is conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is high energy. So it still is going to give a lot of impulsive and combustible energy between your sense of purpose, your drive, your things that deal with career, work, and it deals with your personality. So there will be a personality issue in your career for your sense of purpose, your sense of faith, and with authority figures. And then the sun and the moon is quincunx Jupiter in the 8th house. So beginnings, endings, legacy, danger. I can see that being a thing, especially with Jupiter there, because Jupiter with the sun and Jupiter with the moon in an awkward angle as a quincunx can mean that you're, it can be a happy-go-lucky energy, but it's distorted, meaning that you don't, it's an optimism that you don't see things clearly. You don't see things clearly. Things aren't in a way where, I don't know, you're breezing over details. And breezing over things that it doesn't make sense for it. Breezing over your emotions, breezing over things that can be tied to your identity. And then I'm not going to lie, with fortune being there, it can be lucky for you to be there, but it can also give an energy where it can be issues that are tied to early childhood, or like gifts from early childhood, things that stem from early childhood or previously experienced before. And that's in the 12th house. And so that can deal with like hidden things, hidden talents, hidden issues from childhood and stuff like that. But being lucky, being in the right place, hospitals, psychiatric facilities, things like that. And then the sign of Leo. Oh no, that's in the sign of Virgo. So yeah, hospitals, psychiatric institutions, things that deal with oneness, the universe, spirituality, and religious places like churches to a certain extent. Maybe I guess like temples is a good way to describe it, but yeah. So that's what I see for the 27th with the new moon and everything, but it'll occur in your first house. So you'll feel wanting transformation and initiation with your personality, your body, possibly with your health, with details and organizations, wanting to clean up things and get things in order. I'm playing Pokemon Go this weekend. I've been playing Pokemon since I was little. That's funny. But yeah, that's what I see, you know. So yeah. All right. So then we're gonna move on to Libra risings this week. Let's see. Libra risings. All right. It's a little bit low, but let's see. Okay. So Libra risings, Mercury is going to come in from the 12th house and it's conjuncting the first house. So for you, which because you're going to be gearing up for a retrograde in the sign of Mercury in a few weeks on the 10th. So what that looks like when Mercury comes in from the 12th house under the Virgo sign. The Virgo is already very detail oriented, can be very fickle in a way where it's very nitpicky and all over the place. It's like that because it's supposed to be, but it's supposed to basically study the science of physicality or matter or the 3D realm. It's supposed to organize the mind. It's supposed to create organization from what the person has learned into the physical world. And that's why they rule work, because it is work to organize thoughts from the mind and then external manifesting it physically and trying to put it into order. So when Mercury is in the 12th house, it does make you very creative, and it can give a person creative ways in organizing those thoughts. But it can also give them, because of the 12th house, it can make them, because it has like glamour and illusion, it can make them kind of I guess you could say like delusional a little bit. Like they're not picking up what's there. And so they will have to protect themselves from negative energy or people who would come with unforeseen like negativity, even if it's intentional or not. But that's pulling into the first house. And so again, they're going to feel like wanting to organize and deal with all of these things, also beautifying things and being social, because Libra's in the first house. It's in a opposition with Neptune in the 6th, and so having some distortions and not seeing things clearly and deceptions in the 6th house, dealing with work and organization, which is kind of hard because the Mercury place in the mind wants to organize. The 6th house is the domicile of Virgo, so it wants to have all of these things organized, but in the 6th house is Neptune and Pisces, and that wants to do creative work, and creative work in this way is ruled by the 12th house, which is where Virgo and Mercury is. And so maybe coming up with absurd ways, like absurd or like not realistic ways, or try to organize creativity or try to work with creativity that's not very practical. So that's why they would have to be mindful of that, because the distortion is here. Also with Neptune in the 6th house, it can also deal with weird diagnosis, because Virgo deals with health, and so the mind will be unconsciously thinking about health. But when Neptune, it deals with confusion and distortion and really time dilation. And so what they're going to experience possibly, like if they're going through a health issue, they can experience having misdiagnosis, or like trying to get to the bottom of something in their physical body, or trying to get to the bottom of something with work and not being able to, just in general not being able to. Now, their ascendant is going to be opposed to Jupiter in the sign of Aries, and so this can deal with the dynamics of being kind and generous, but these people are insensitive. These people are aggressive, and so they could deal with aggressive people who are generally kind, but they can be confrontational, aggressive, rude, challenging, can deal with bullies and stuff like that. People that are hyper challenging. I have Gemini in the 12th house. So Gemini in the 12th house deals with people who can, in general, like, they can tend to be gossipy, struggles with restlessness, somebody who wants to be dexterous or wants to be in these things. Sometimes in the 12th house, because what the 12th house rules with psychiatric institutions and Gemini ruling double mind, it can also imply behavioral issues or psychological issues. And the 12th house also rules conception too. And so unless you have a planet there, it does give the energy that prenatally you could pick up on that, or like, you know, because the 12th house can also be the house of undoing as well. So having a parent that might not be all the way there, or having behavioral issues, or not being able to complete things, having issues with being high strung but never completing things, or friends as lovers, or issues dynamics around that, or having nervous issues, like so anxiety and stuff like that. But that trickles over into your chart because it's your chart, but picking up on that from the parents. And so having neurological issues, nervous issues, not being able to finish things, behavioral issues that can be like a personality issues, because Gemini rules being of two minds. And so on the worst end, where it's the 12th house of undoing, the worst end of that would be somebody who is literally of two minds, or somebody who has like psychological issues that they struggle with, you know. So doesn't mean that you have it, but you know, like, also, like, I know this sounds funny, but sometimes Gemini in the 12th house also being is like secretly wanting to be dexterous, or like secretly wanting to juggle or be more coordinated than you are. Like, it's a thing, but yeah, like wanting to juggle or wanting to be able to multitask or do all of these interesting things with the physical body that is just not a thing. But you know, I find that interesting. But yeah, and Mercury in the 12th house and in the soft aspect, or is trine to Mars in the 9th. And so you're going to have a lot of drive. Like, you're going to, for people who have a Libra rising, they're going to have a lot of drive to have a sense of purpose and to actually do the things that they would like to, like, that gives them a sense of purpose and that renews their faith. And with the Mercury placement in the 12th house, it's an unconscious thing. So they unconsciously think about, organize, and take action to fulfill the purpose that they have. And the purpose can do with media, with Gemini in the 9th. Because Gemini rules media. It rules technology, and like mastering technology in particular. You know, dealing with siblings, neighbors, relatives. Like, they're going to unconsciously find purpose in those types of things, or learning things very quickly, you know, adapting very quickly. Mercury is also trine the moon in the 10th. And so the moon in the 10th deals with people aiding careers, women aiding careers. And it's in the sign of Cancer. So women, family, and tradition aiding careers. And it's in harmony with Mercury in the 12th and women. So this could deal with being persuasive, being able to talk to people and be very persuasive and to win them over very easily. And this will be in your career, authority, status. And so people will see you as to be very agreeable. So yeah, let me see. Mercury is also in a hard aspect to your MC. And so what that can do is some of, I don't mean, but some of the neuroticism or the way you mentally work can also make your reputation a bit harder unnecessarily. So I would surmise that possibly being a busy bee could make your career harder than necessarily, you know, being mentally challenging, and whether it's intentional or not. And it could be just the nervous issues as well, because it's in the 12th house. All right, so that is the 24th. Let's look at the 27th. I am new to this. How do I find out what I have and what house is in BMORE? Do you have any business planning the basics? I do not have those yet. But if you are comfortable, you can drop your information in the chat just like Jasmine did, and I will pull it up so that way you can participate. And I've done this on other lives before if people feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, I've also had people send me their number and I told them what their rising was. But in order for you need to calculate your rising, I would need your birth date, the location of your birth, but I will also need your time of birth, because the rising signs literally are within hours of each other. And so that's what I would need to calculate that. If you're interested, I guess you could say, is it Mr. KO or Marco? I don't know. I'm going to go with Mr. KO. But yeah, so that's what I would need. But no, I don't have any basics yet, but obviously I will have some stuff up for, people to generally just go over certain things. But no, I don't have that up. All right. So under the sign of Libra, you're a cardinal sign. So again, the retrograde that happened on the 24th that I just finished talking about in general for the sign of Libra rising, that is in a fixed sign, which is Taurus. And then the new moon in the sign of Virgo, that is an immutable sign. So they're not really going to get hit in a way where it's a direct impact. They're not going to get hit in a way that's not direct impact. Jasmine, if you want me to calculate your rising sign, I do need your date, location, and the time of birth. If y'all don't have those, I can't type them in the computer to find them for you. I just can't. There is a technique where you can guess, but sometimes it's still wrong, because I have done it, and at best for the person I did it, I was off one zodiac sign, but that's still kind of it's kind of iffy, and I don't want y'all to deal with get a bad horoscope or the horoscope that's not meant for you.
Hey y'all,
get out of here.
Real quick, Solomon is promoting your channel. He just want me to link it into the chat, so we'll put it to the top. You could keep talking. You mind if I use this real quick?
I do mind because I'm talking.
Okay, you want me to
No, go ahead. No, you can do it.
So I'm just gonna slide this over here real quick. You can keep talking though.
No, but in order for it to be accurate, I do need your the date, the time of your birth, and the location, and then that will give you the window that you're born, because your rising sign is what zodiac sign was rising on the eastern horizon during the time of your birth. And in general, they only last 2 hours, and it's one of the easiest things to generalize in a horoscope. I do not understand people trying to generalize suns or other things, because you see how Jen just said my sun is in the 6th house. Okay, it's 12 houses, and then there's 12 zodiac signs, so the combination is many. So it's kind of hard to generalize all of those things. It's easy to generalize a rising sign, because a rising sign is only in the 1st house. There's nothing there but that. So whatever's in the 1st house, that is your rising sign. So it goes in specifically the place it can be. Hopefully that makes sense. But I feel like I understand why people don't like astrology, because people do be scamming. People do be scamming. Marco, I need the city. I have the state. I need the city, because even if I change the city, it could change the degrees of the planets as well. So it's really that specific. I would need your city, the city of your birth as well. But if anybody else is confused, y'all can also do the same thing that Mr. KO and Marco is doing, and then boom. My sun is in Capricorn. Well, really, if your sun is in Capricorn, you're really not going to feel really harsh about the retrograde or the new moon, because Capricorn is, and after I explain this to you, I'm going to put in Mr. KO's and stuff, but where is it? Okay, so this is just an example, but you see why I'm circling around here with Capricorn? Okay, so Capricorn is an earth sign that is cardinal, okay? So there's 3 modes. You have cardinal, fixed, mutable, right? And then you have the 4 elements, okay? So it's cardinal and it's earth. So we know that the new moon is going to occur on the 27th in an earth mutable sign. All earth signs to each other, to the next earth sign, are in trine, which is a soft aspect. It's the softest aspect that you can get. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 zodiac signs away. So it's going to be in harmony to whatever is occurring in the new moon. All right, so let's just say, okay, what about Uranus retrograde? Because Uranus retrograde can deal with instability, but mainly instability so that way you can transform and find some sense of freedom. It's a disattachment, it's a distance, or some type of disassociation, so you can find the freedom that you need. Okay, well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 earth signs. That's 4 signs away in the sign of Taurus. So that means there's going to be a trine. That's all soft aspects. That's the softest sign. That's the softest aspect you can get. So in theory, Jen, the Capricorns are fine. They're not going to get hit up that badly. But again, the horoscope that I'm describing, or what I'm describing is going to happen, is not for sun signs. But if you feel in your heart that you want to go that way, that's fine. But I'm not doing this for sun signs. But if you want to do it that way, that's your business. But I didn't calculate this, or I'm not doing this based off of that. But in theory, based off of your natal, you should be all right. So yeah, let me go calculate his stuff real quick, and I'm gonna just take it down. So 14, 7, 76, 1 a.m. South Virginia. Okay. So for you, your rising sign is in the sign of Taurus. So your stuff is in the sign of Taurus. I won't be going over Taurus today, but if you have any questions, you can ask. But the last video I did has all of the stuff for Taurus rising, and Cancer risings over there as well. You know what, Jen, you're not the only person that's over here. Like, you're the second person I know that was in the chat that's a Capricorn sun and a Cancer rising. Are you calculating how the transits will hit our specific charts? Not your specific charts, just your rising sign K10. Like, for specific charts, like, I actually would have to, like, that's like y'all paying me to do y'all transits. Like I'm sitting down having to really write notes about y'all transits coming up. But your Uranus is in Sag. Okay, well, if it's in Sag because it's mutable, that means that it can get affected by the new moon, particularly if it's between 0 and 8 degrees. If your natal Uranus is in Sagittarius, which is mutable, it will be affected by the new moon in another mutable sign, which is Virgo, between 0 and 8 degrees. If it's in a later sign, you should be okay. If it's in like a later, degree, you should be okay. But not specific charts, K10. What we're calculating for is people's generalized rising signs. I'll catch the last video after the live is done. Thank you. No problem, dear. So every time you come to the video, you'll wait for the Taurus rising, or if you don't watch the live and you just watch the replay, you would click on the timestamp for Taurus rising, and that's what you'll listen to. But yeah, let me get your stuff off of here. But yeah, alrighty, so let's see. Alrighty. Yeah, it's still pretty much the same thing. The only difference for Libra rising by the new moon, and it's not really the effect of the new moon, but I realized this because of the degree the range kind of slides up a little bit. It falls into a degree range where it can be trying Pluto in the 4th house, and so what that does is that it means that this person can have a lot of willpower, and they can program their willpower to do whatever they need to do. So like they can have a lot of motivation, a lot of drive. They can get a lot of things done. And with Pluto in the 4th house, it deals with transformations as it pertains to the home and things that are hidden. And so it can deal with like changes in home, relocation, repairs. It can also deal with relatives coming into the home. Also it can deal with unresolved childhood issues. But yeah, I will also check for like insurance and stuff like that, for like property insurance and things that are tied to that. But in general, that's what it deals with. Got it. That makes sense. Yeah, it would be a lot of work for individual charts. I see you on Libra. I'll chill till Sag. Okay, yeah. So you'll have a Sag rising. So yeah, that actually should be next. But yeah. It's a 6th degree. Okay, so Jen, that means that you'll get hit. I know that sounds weird, not like in a bad way, but you could get affected by the Virgo new moon because it's okay. So you see, this is for a Libra rising, but I'm just using the chart so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so 3 zodiac signs away is a square. So this is in a, like around, the new moon will occur around 4 degrees, and so that means about 4 on each side from 0 to 8. Okay, so we 1, 2, 3. That's Sag. Okay, so that means that you'll be squared. So if your Uranus is square the moon, and then your Uranus is square the sun, it's going to be weird because it's going to be like individuality versus identity issues, or individuality versus freedom. Sometimes home, family can give you interesting relationship dynamics where you want, it's like when you interact with certain things, like issues with like freedom, but issues with individuality and emotions as well. So yeah, Libra is in Pluto. Yeah, if you have a Libra in Pluto, that deals with the dissolution of relationships, or like the death, or like death and transformation of relationships. And I actually want to do a thing because that's a generational planet, and I do feel like the generation that had Libra and Pluto, they was on some ish, and it makes me chuckle when I see the programming that they were watching. What's up with Virgo? Okay, I just finished Virgo, so you have to kind of basically watch the playback because we're now on Libra. But in general, I feel like Virgos are gonna have a cool I think they'll have a decent week. Especially with the in general positive placements that they have more positive or soft aspects than hard ones. But there'll be a new moon in the sign of Virgo, so they'll feel that directly. Especially when the sun and the moon's there, so you know it can allude to feelings of looking good and feeling good. And depending how Virgo does it, it can also deal with feelings of like individuality versus feelings, but that's entirely up to Virgo, because Virgo, their minds work interesting, so I can see them going either way. They're weird like that. I know that sounds weird, but like Virgos are weird like that, so they can kind of Yeah, I grew up with wild programming. I went to Catholic school. See, I told y'all, people with that generational planet, crazy. Yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, I know. I feel like the Virgo risings, particularly Virgo risings, because this, for people that are just coming in, this is for, when I do the horoscopes, it's for rising signs. If y'all don't know how to do that or what that is, please let me know, because I will tell y'all how to calculate. I will calculate it and just tell you what it is, so you can just listen or participate or ask questions. But for Virgo risings, I feel like y'all getting like another chance at work things. Like it's a lot of career, like they're trying to push for career stuff right now. I don't know what that is. Okay. Shy, just if you drop in the chat your date of birth, your time of birth, and your location of birth, I'll just calculate it for you, and I'll just tell you where to go and what to click on, and you'll be fine. If you don't know that, just get back to me, and then if you shoot me a message or something, I'll calculate it for you and let you know. Okay? So, but that's 920. Jupiter and Scorpio in the 4th house. Girl, that's too much. It deals with a chaotic home. That's chaotic upbringings. and also like low-key hidden aggression, a lot of hidden aggression. Let's see. Shy, I need your place of birth there. Traumatizing. No, Shy, that wasn't for you. That was for Jen. That was not for you. That was for Jen. Alrighty. Oh, Miami. Oh, we got a Florida girl. Alrighty. Alright, Shy, I'm about to put yours in real quick, and then we'll proceed. 20. Let's see. Oh, you have an Aries rising. Okay. Aries rising, Virgo sun, Libra moon. That's interesting. Alrighty. But yeah, that's what you have. So, Shy, what you would do is you would, if you want to stay on this video, you can, but the previous video, that's what had Aries rising. So every time you come here, when I get to the part where I talk about Aries risings, that's when you would listen. So if you come onto another stream, that's what you would listen to. And if you ever jump into a stream and I'm speaking about Aries risings, that's when you pay attention. Okay. So yeah, it's not for the sun or the moon or any other sign. It's for your rising sign. I'm a Cap sun, Cat rising, Cancer moon. Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of like Cancer, Capricorn combinations that jump in the chat randomly. It's interesting. But yeah, so hopefully that makes sense for you, Shy. But if you want to go to the previous stream or you want to go after this, you can. If you have any other questions, or if you're confused, you know, you can always ask questions, because I know you said some of this is confusing for you. But yeah. Okay. Mercury, Capricorn and Mercury. Dang, girl, Jen, you all Capricorn down. And you know what? That actually, the more I know that makes sense. I'm sorry. Girl, you didn't do nothing. You're fine, Shy. I got knocked off. No, it's okay. Okay, so you're an Aries rising, Shy. So whenever you come back or you want to listen, you would pay attention to Aries rising. I already did an Aries rising in the part 1. This is part 2, because there's about 4 zodiac signs that I didn't do. And so this one is mainly for the Virgo risings, Libra risings, Sag risings, and Pisces risings. But if you want to like listen to your transiting or your horoscope for your Aries rising, you would go to the stream that I did right before this one. And every time you come here, Shy, when we get to that, we talk about Aries, that's when you listen. Hopefully that was okay. Hopefully that made sense to you. Are you still confused? Cap Nation. Yeah, it's a lot of y'all Capricorns. It's weird. Y'all just all come. You said Aries rising. What else am I? Okay, you're a Virgo sun and a Libra moon, but you're getting into personal reading time. So that was when I had to do a whole reading for you, but for your astrology. But this is a horoscope live, and so for people that come in, they want to get their weekly transits for their horoscope. Well, that's what this live is. So if you enjoy it, you come back again, and what you do is you would listen to the Aries rising. You would listen to the Aries section, or you would click on the timestamp for Aries. So hopefully that makes sense. I know, because some of y'all have different levels of, some of y'all at different levels. So some people know exactly where the stuff is. They know, and then some of y'all just like shy here. They're new. I get it. So I need to listen to Aries when I hear you. Dang, there you go, shy. Unless I specify differently, but it's going to be. This is what it's going to look like. So when you see this, if I say Aries risings or ascendant, that's when you listen. Boom. There you go. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So yeah. Hey VZ. But yeah, hopefully I'm a Cat Moon girl. Cat Moon, the mom is powerful. The mom is the father. That's usually what that indicates about people with Capricorn moons. It indicates that the mother is the father for K10. But yeah, it means that the mother becomes the father, or the mom has a lot of resources. She's very powerful. She's very influential. What's my sign? That's funny. I wonder if I should let y'all guess, because every time y'all guess, most of y'all be wrong. Most of y'all be wrong. Welcome, VZ. But yeah, I kind of want to guess because some of y'all be wrong. My son is in the 12th, so my mom was dead as fuck. Yeah, it's not the 12th house that makes it. It's the Capricorn sign that makes it, because of what Capricorn rules. The 12th house rules like spiritualism, health, like hospitals, mental institutions, glamour, fall, confusion, being a sacrifice. And so, you know, that's what that can indicate. But you know, most of the time when y'all guess my zodiac sign, y'all be wrong, and I love it. But yeah, it can also mean your mom was charitable, your mom was nice, or your mom had an issue with seeing enemies as friends and friends as enemies, or being under the influence of things. But yeah, Big Pain's right. I am a Pisces. So yeah, Big Pain, BMORE to Scorpio. I am not. I'm not a Scorpio. But yeah. Do you have Aquarius in your big three? No, I do not. No, I do not. But yeah, every time people guess, they always guess wrong. And I guess it's how my chart's set up. It throws people up. But yes, I'm a Pisces. So yeah. But yeah, people always think I'm either like a Scorpio, or sometimes y'all say Aries or stuff like that. It's the eyes. Big Pain, I don't think you ever seen a picture of me. So it's really the cartoon. BMORE got a Taurus rising. I do not. I do not have a Taurus rising. That's funny. Y'all funny. Big Pain on it. Well, Big Pain, I could tell studies low key, so he's good. I'm a full blown Aquarius with a Scorpio ascendant, Sun, Moon, and Venus. Woo wee. Okay, Black Bomb. Woo wee. But you know what? I'm not gonna lie, Black Bomb. When you tell your jokes, I can tell you an Aquarius, because them jokes be dry. But always love though. It's funny. I just understand Aquarius humor, so it's always funny. Someone called you a mystic in another video, so Pisces makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a Pisces, guys. And I roast Pisces people anyway, so I know people be like, no Pisces slang. I say no, because Pisces sometimes be on mess, and it's okay to say, you know, my ego not in a place where I can't come to talk about what's the issues of the Pisces. So what's your problem with Libra? That's what I'm trying to find out. Libras always be crying somewhere. You know, we just talked about being open about saying what the issues. I don't have a problem with Libras. But, you know, a toxic Libra is an issue. Because they never as neutral as they think that they are. That's how you know a Libra is toxic. But yeah, that's how you know they crazy. When they think that they neutral and they're not. Like, because I don't think it's that they don't understand that everybody has biases. Once they understand, if you have a Libra that can understand that, they're cool. But when they on shenanigans, it's like, you got to get out of there. Because it can be, I guess the word you could say is messy. They can be very messy. Unintentionally. So they low-key messy. See, Jen, that's what I'm saying. Like they I don't know what happens with the Libra in that, but are not neutral at all. see, that's my point. Once they get that, they good. But when they think that they really neutral, like that's their main problem. Like, girl, it's the neutrality that y'all think y'all got. So, two needy gold diggers. Lord have mercy. My mom is a Pisces, so I can tell because her tongue clicking is destructive. How you know a Scorpio is toxic? The joke would be you wouldn't know because they don't talk. They kind of secretive. But no, you know a Scorpio is toxic because I say Scorpios have an issue with in shared dynamics because of what they rule. And so the opposing sign for Scorpio is Taurus, which deals with the individual ownership. But Scorpio deals with shared ownership. Dynamics what they have to share with other people. And I do notice like Scorpios will consume things till they're gone because what they rule like things that are brought back from the dead or things that are empty or gone and revitalized, or they rule the severity and intensity. And so like when you ask a Scorpio they want to eat, like just for instance, you ask for a snack, they body the snack. And I notice that's a constant with them, that they struggle with the idea of sharing. And I notice it with a Scorpio. Like when you know they bad, like really down bad, I'm like, y'all can't share. Y'all can't share. I got a secretive nature too. Privacy is important. Yeah. My mom is a Pisces too. Yeah, a lot of y'all have Pisces. I do notice that with a lot of Pisces moms that y'all link up with them. Like, interesting. But yeah. But that's what I noticed about Scorpios. I'm like, y'all have a weird issue with sharing, but that's where the intensity and possessiveness come in. I don't like Scorpios. Many have come across intense and attractive on the outside, but they try to manipulate my emotions, and it never works. It might be the Aquarius in me. It might just be me. I can see that. But it's the sharing though. That's what you don't like about them. It's the intensity of sharing. So they're very interpersonal that way. So I know people think like Scorpios aren't interpersonal. They're secretive, but they're interpersonal. Once they're in your space, they can behave that way because they're very intense. So they actually like Scorpios have a placement where they rule like therapy, particularly psychology. So they like to be in the depths of things. They want to really, their sign is really dealing with transformation through desire. So if their desires, if how they're handling the desires aren't in check, then Scorpio would be toxic. But that's really what the point of when someone has a Scorpio placement or they're born as a Scorpio sign is to understand their transformation through the sense of desires. So that's fact as fuck. We are best at buying what you want and getting our own. That's why we share. I'm a Scorpio. See, that's what I'm saying. If you gotta share with a Scorpio, girl, it's a problem because the issue with desire is a problem for them. Isn't me being a Pisces okay for it? You know, I mean, I don't have the issues with Pisces men. You know, I mean, you know, I don't have an issue with them. I think they should be fine. I mean, I'm trying to understand what you mean by that. Like for a black male, I don't get it. I'm trying to see where we're going. I know the typing is limited, but like I need a little bit more. I'm actually comfortable with sharing, but I try to keep some things to me. Not sharing information, I mean sharing things in proximity. So like the reason why Scorpio rules like sex, because it's through desire, they also rule genitals. So sharing sexual relations, sharing transformation through other partners. Like it doesn't deal with just sharing information, you know, because they're very intense. So that's also why they're secretive, because they view that as like they own the information. I know that sounds weird, but how they view things isn't how other people view things. That's why people be kind of weird with Scorpios, because they're like, why this gotta be a thing? But for them, that's a thing, you know? So I am a Taurus sun, Pisces moon, Taurus rising, Taurus and Venus man, So if you're Taurus rising and a Taurus sun, that means how people perceive you is how you actually are. It's in harmony with your identity. It's in harmony with your identity. So some people have personality problems because their sun, moon, and risings are in harsh aspects to each other. But yeah, that means it's just harmony through your identity, and it's also unless I know what your other placements are, but basically you're very sure about what you want and how you want to relate and socialize to life. I'm sharing a house with my Scorpio cousin, and I want to wring his selfish neck. Yeah, that it's not his fault. Like, if a Scorpio hasn't understood their desires, they are selfish. That's their issues. They are selfish if it's the understanding desires. You know? And I don't think that they consciously do it. That's why they rule psychology, because the point is to understand your psychology. Gotta understand the psychology. I like Pisces men. They're indecisive though. They can, yeah, they to Shai's point, I think they just don't get it all the time. I think that's why some people don't like Pisces men. I don't know. People never say that about the women, so I don't know. You know, but I understand her point, because sometimes the Pisces placement, people don't get it. And I think that's just the confusion of Pisces and it being ruled by Neptune. The only thing that is that Pisces is more open and connected, and black men are not taught to be that. That's the problem I see. I can see that. I read that online Scorpios' erogenous zones are genitals. Every zodiac sign appears to have a common zone. Yes, they do. Every zodiac sign has a physiological placement that is associated with it. Which sometimes I do when I do the readings on here. Sometimes I do say, like, okay, be careful of like infections or injuries, or I'm very specific because the zodiac placements tell you kind of what body part could be an issue. Because I was like, one of them I think I did in the previous video or the video before, because it dealt with cancer, it could deal with issues of like the breast, the womb, you know, the stomach, but everybody doesn't have like titties, so it's like, you know. But yeah, because cancer like rules breasts, like the womb area, like where, you know, babies are and all that. But, you know, sometimes it can be, you know, but yeah. Gotta get a reader from you very soon. Scorpios do evolve. Once we mature, we're dope. I promise y'all. Yeah, once y'all get it down, y'all cool. But like, when y'all don't understand their desires, I can see why people be like, no. And I think it's also that they're emotional, but they're emotional about themselves. People get that confused. They're not like a Cancer or a Pisces. They're not emotional like in that way. You know, they're emotional about them. About me. Desires. As a Pisces sun in 8th house, I feel like a cousin of Scorpio. I get it, because you overlap with some of that 8th house energy. What about what you telling me about rising sun, moon? What it make me? I'm trying to follow along, Shy. I know you knew, but like, what you mean? I'm trying to follow along. Like, what are you trying to say? Do you do personal readings? Yes, I do personal readings. Most excitement I had in a while. I'm glad. A Scorpio sun, Merc, Saturn, Pluto in the 12th. I feel like a Pisces cousin. We're water cousins. Yeah, y'all are. Y'all water cousins. But like, really, because you got so much Scorpio, that's all of that. The transformation through desire is really like big. Her number is this. Dion be acting like the manager, and I'm like, Dion. That's how I knew Dion had Capricorn placements, because that how he be acting. I said not management, because he be acting like the manager. That's what I meant about being indecisive. Is there a way for them to change that? Okay. For people to be indecisive, you only feel indecisive if you feel like there's a push and pull there's two things pulling at you at the same time, and the only way to alleviate you feeling confused, and this is regardless of your sign, is for you to understand who you are and to understand your personal values. So like what do things mean to you? So like what things mean to me, like for instance, like I value having loving relationships with people. Do other people value that? Maybe not. Maybe somebody values following their career goals to the end, and that's what they value, but that's their business. So like once you understand who you are, there's no confusion, but there's nothing you can do about it. That person has to grow into that, especially if they're an adult. Like, they have to understand that about themselves, understand who they are. Now if you want to help them, maybe you can get them in a therapist or with a life coach that can help them see themselves in that type of way and understand like, maybe I should think about what I want out of life, because it'll be less confusion. But you can't do that. Why am I scared of love or constantly rejecting? It really depends on your chart, Shy. Blessed to be here. Like that Taurus boy told you, his sun, moon, rising. You told him something about his identity, so I want to... Oh, okay. I get what you're trying to do. Okay. I think your chart is still up. Let's see. Alrighty. So if your moon is here, let's see. I'll do you one shot. I get what you're trying to say now. I get it. I know you're new or whatever. Okay. So okay, so if your sun and your moon, they're in the similar houses, and your ascendant is here, okay, so the mother made things beautiful. The mother was in a lot of relationships. The mother was married. The mother, it seemed like the mother could oppose another authority figure too. Like the mother had an issue with another authority figure, like a grandfather, and stuff like that. The sun placement is in harmony with the North Node, so it could seem like maybe the father pushed your dreams or work or career dreams, things like that. Your ascendant is quincunxed your Venus and your Mercury, so that can mean your personality. There could be a personality issue with love, money, and your mind. Like that's what, when you ask me why you have an issue with rejection, because your ascendant, you have a personality issue there. Because you see this green line coming down, you have an issue with your Venus and your Mercury, and the personality issue can make it hard for love and make it hard for your mental. But yeah, it could mean like the father creates an avenue, or your identity creates an avenue for falling into your life path, and your hopes and dreams, dealing with organization, humanitarianism, life path, dealing with humanity, dealing with technology, new ideas, new frontiers, unusual people, bohemian people. But yeah, your mom, like your moon issues with pattern, it also could imply that your mom could be depressed or there was depression. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't want to go too deep into it because it's kind of like, charts are kind of like personal, but but like when you have a moon square Saturn, it could imply your mother was depressed, or you struggle with like being happy or feeling depressed or lonely and isolated. So yeah, that's what that means. 6 different yeah, because you have a your ascendant is quincunxed the mind, which is Mercury, is quincunxed to Venus. And Venus doesn't deal just with love, it deals with money, but it also deals with how you relate to life. And so there could be an issue with your personality and feeling like you could really be or relate well to life, So that's what that means. Like it's hard for you to, deal with life in that way. When she had me, not necessarily when she had you, because the placements don't indicate that. Because you look for where Pluto is, and so it doesn't necessarily indicate that, because I'm looking at the moon, but Pluto is in Scorpio, so the Pluto in Scorpio can deal with like affairs, death, transformation, coming back from the dead, or dynamics like that. So not necessarily, or inheritances or love affairs, that's what that indicates, like under the idea of conception. It doesn't indicate that. But yeah, hopefully that'll help. But yeah, some people have really hard personalities. So like for Shy, because Shy obviously offered up her chart to be examined, you see that her personality can make it hard for people to be in love. So it makes it hard for her to deal with those types of things. I feel like I'm too smart for my own good. Well, that's the Mercury that's quincunx your ascendant. So Mercury rules the mind. So your mind, the way you think, it actually is part of the issue, because Mercury is quincunx your ascendant, but Mercury is also in harmony with your Venus. So it's not horrible. It's conjunct your Venus, but it just is your personality there. Because Mercury and Venus can make a lot of play, laughter. Relationships can really have a lot of good communication, very good potential. And it can also, what's interesting when you have that placement, it could trigger like marriage and stuff like that, or working out financial details or positive thinking. But you also have other placements that aren't well aspected to that aspect, if that makes sense. So it's not bad. It's just your personality is quincunx, so that means it struggles. Your personality struggles with integration, and then you also have that moon placement I told you about, where you feel like you're alone, or you feel lonely or depressed and isolated. So it's not horrible. I don't say people's charts are horrible. I think that people's charts are what they are, and people just have to figure out how to make the best of their lives. Shy has that Aquarius Leo on the notes. Yes, she does. And so she has to deal with not the attention and not being centered that way. And the detachment. There's something about detachments and going for her hopes and dreams. She has to really push for her hopes and dreams, and friendships as well. What do I need to change to keep a relationship? Well, really that depends, because that's what you call like a synastry chart. So people's charts are like fingerprints. So you will have to like overlay whoever you're dating and your chart over top of each other to see what the compatibility is, or what occurs in the relationship. Hopefully that makes sense to you, Shy. Because I know you catching on. You actually catching on pretty quickly, which, I expected from that Mercury Venus conjunct thing you got in your chart. But, depends. Depends on what the person has in their chart. Because there are some people that are very compatible with each other. But to your point, there are certain people, like you saw your chart and you said, I feel like I have an issue with love. Yeah, you do, because your Venus and your Mercury are quincunx. They're not. It's your ascendant. It's your personality and how people see you. Maybe you come off more aggressive than you think. Maybe you come off a little bullyish. Maybe you come off more aggressive than you think you do. I get it. Aggressive and challenging, or wanting to go the solitary path, more individualistic than you think you are. But yeah, my Venus is in Aquarius. I'm not gonna lie, when I see people's Venus is in Aquarius, they have very unique sexual tastes, and I'll start and stop with that. They're very unique. They're very unique. They have very unique sexual taste. And I did peep that. I'm like, I see a trend with you people. All of y'all have unique sexual preferences. So, nailed it. So you are aggressive. See, that's not helping, girl. That aggression ain't helping. That's why you scaring them all off. He hiding under the table. Yeah, like, you gotta chill a little bit, sis. The aggression ain't helping. You know? Let me see. What is this? Let me see. But yeah, you're very aggressive, and it's not doing what you think it is. You know. Alrighty. I think that's it for Libra. I think I finished up Libra. I'm trying to see if I missed anything else before I get back into it. So, where's your Venus? Your Venus is in Virgo. And it's in the 6th house. So, like, dating people at work. It's giving dating people at work. Dating other people who are into healthcare and bodies and health and stuff like that. Or people who are into books and shenanigans, or who are into analytical things. I just watched a video about my Venus in the 11th, similar to Aquarius. It said the 11th house is weird, LGBT. I'm telling you, people with weird tastes, K10, I'm not lying. So you already know. Y'all have weird, I peeped that too. I said, y'all have interesting sexual tastes. You know? I feel like that's where unique people exist at. Like, they into unique things. You know? Low key. I'm abusive by nature. Y'all pray for Shy. It's gonna be alright, Shy. You pray. But that's your problem though. That actually is the problem. You know, you scaring all of your little boos off with your little bullying antics. And that's unfortunate. But yeah. Leave me alone, BMORE. Oh, you have Venus in Aquarius? Oh, see, not attacking, but I'm just saying, you know, I know what I see. She's a dom. She probably is. You know, you'd have to go where people like that, you know. But, you know, leave me alone. But see, y'all telling, how do I give more feminine energy? I get annoyed fast. You don't have to be feminine. Like, okay, well, let me say this. Femininity comes in a lot of ways. There's not like a one size fit all package. Now, femininity can be described in certain ways that is a standard, and that's what the energy is, but you don't have to do anything. Like, there are like female deities that are fierce. So like Sekhmet is fierce. She's known for like bloodshed, like a bloodlust, and she's, you know, badass, and she's just here to beat people up and go home. So like, that's not a bad thing. You know, if you read the Kabbalah, under the principle of like Binah, which is the feminine principle, which is the vagina, or allegedly where souls come from, is then, which is rules power, and it rules judgment, and that's a feminine principle, power and judgment. That's why you get the saying that all men will meet their karma through a woman. So like, no, like, I don't believe in trying to make people be tough that they not, but we also like try to chill on the abuse though. But you should find somebody who likes, you know, women who are aggressive, instead of trying to like be something you're not, because it's gonna already prove to make you unhappy. You know, you already have a chart that we talked about briefly, that you have an issue with being in a good mood, socializing to life, and not feeling alone and isolated, and feeling like happy, having issues with being happy. Just understand that there are people who like that. They like that kind of aggression. So you find people who like that. Don't go to jail for like domestic issues, but you know, people who like all of that She-Ra, you know, scratch up their back, you know, all of that, I slap them in the face, if that's what their little kinks are, whatever it is. And you find people that like that, you know. Y'all go off, because there's people who do like that, and y'all live happily ever after. You know. We are sending you love. Yeah, just send love. Just, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Be yourself. And if they don't like that, that's good, because that means they ain't wasting your time. You can find somebody who like you. Don't pretend to not like something that you like, because then you're going to have to deal with consequences of that. So you find what you like, so that way you don't have to keep pretending, because that's exhausting. That's exhausting. No, don't pretend. Shy's Virgo moon is tucked in the 12th, Aries in the 7th. You're aggressive. No, I thought Shy's moon was in the 7th in Libra. She has a Libra moon. She has a Libra moon. But yeah, like, you know, don't pretend. Go to somewhere. They got parties for that too. They do. Don't hang out in country clubs if you don't like golf. Got it. Perfect. That's the perfect way to explain it. Like, well, don't hang out at country clubs if you don't like golf. You go to where you need to go. You know. I say no to conformity. Like unnecessary conformity. You know. There's people who like aggressive people and y'all can live happily ever after. So. That's why people be bitter, because they be up there lying. I don't have time for that. Bro, y'all see this? Y'all see this little test thing? It say, am I gay? Gay test. Y'all was just talking about Aquarius being gay. I'm weak. I'm weak. Not a test, child. I guess the Aquarius 11th house Venus people gonna be taking that, but y'all saw that that's right there, right? I was not right there before. I swear to God, y'all saw me click on that. Not the yes. I said, what in the world? Okay, not the spyware. It's giving spyware. Do you flick your wrist? Yes or no? You're right. Like, what on earth? That is not how that works. Not take a test. I'm pretty, but I feel like with the F, like, guys be weird these days. I'm aggressive, not toxic. And that's fine, boo. You just find somebody who likes that. That's what you have to do. And it's okay if you gotta go through a lot of them too. I think next is Sag. Let me see. Boom. There we go. But yeah, it's alright, you know. People do be weird. I'm not gonna lie. They do be weird these days. AI is nosy AF. Just a little bit. Like, I don't know. And I'm not gonna lie, with some of the stuff that some of the women are doing, like, as a reaction to the guys being weird, with some of their talking points, they're getting weird. I'm like, Lord have mercy. You know, because some of the men, they say weird things, and now the women are being weird too. I'm like, Lord, because then they doing weird stuff too. So, you know. So, what y'all doing in here? We talking. Well, apparently we're taking a gay test. I don't know. We taking a gay test, kid at heart. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I swear I cannot answer you with these tests. They heard us talking to Shy, and it was like, solution to the test, solution to the answer. Here you go, solution to the question. Boom, take the test. I'm like, not recruiting. They over there giving army recruiter energy. Okay. Yeah, they are. They being weird. I'm like, and you know what? I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna sidetrack this just a little bit, but I'm gonna get right back to Sag, because Sag risings are next. But the gender thing is so off the hook that the women weird, and so like when you try to link up with them on some like, oh girl, you wanna go whatever, blah blah blah. Like, you want to go get your nails done, blah blah blah. It could be a little girl time or whatever. We chilling, like having like actual friends. They start being weird too. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, y'all deep in the matrix. I don't know what's going on. They're weird. I'm like, y'all getting weird like the, you know, y'all just starting to get weird, you know. We got them coach in here having secret meetings. Yeah, we having secret meetings. But yeah, they start getting weird. And I know that's not just me that peeped that about some of the girls. Like, y'all try to be friends, like having like adult girlfriends, and they start being weird. 3D is going to extremes to. It is, child. I don't love. Jeez, Lord. I'm like, girl, it's not that serious. I tell you, it's not that serious. I'm like, it's getting weird in here. Damn. Yeah, sorry. We about to start Sagittarius. They actually look like they're weird in what way, BMORE? Okay, like, so sometimes when I be trying to be friends with the girls, they start, because they're, to be fair, they're dealing with like, okay, you know how the men have made like that whole the incel thingy, whatever that is, you know, and sometimes they have issues with women and they can be like aggressive, particularly like online, but like they make like those aggressive videos. I noticed some of the women like absorb that in, and then they like kind of like come back with it. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I guess you could. It's weird because I can also empathize, because there's like when people share toxicity like that, like, because it can, like, bitterness and toxicity or like poisons in those ways can be like exchanged, and so like I feel like they come with that energy, and it's like, we're here to get our nails done, relax, we're here for brunch, you know, we here to act like we about to talk about how much we hate your boss, you know, I'm here to help you pick out what napkins you want for your wedding. That's it. We here to pick out your wedding cake. That's it. You know, it don't have to be that. Yeah, it's like the world of envy and competition. And I mean, I feel like men have that too. I'm not trying to make that like a all women thing, but I feel like it's that weird incelly. I don't know what it's like, women versions of that now. It's kind of hard. And but yeah, somehow they infiltrate the manosphere and they follow. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, I can't really describe it, but I see it with the women. Like, they're starting to, like, you know, because it's the, and maybe because sometimes the male component of like that insight thing is so loud, you know. But I do notice that, and I'm like, that's interesting. It actually makes me think of like, what's the zodiac sign for that, or like what's the transit for that, because I feel like it's like a weird gender dynamics going on. So I don't know if I can figure out what the zodiac placement for this. Listen, because it's a weird there are weird gender dynamics going on. I can't really describe it. It's very interesting between men and women these days, and I feel like I don't know, it's interesting. I'm like, what is this? What is this? But yeah, I do notice that, and I'm like, wow, y'all have to get off the internet. Y'all really have to get off the internet. Shy is funny, but no, like, you know what, Shy, to your point, I get it, but you know what, I would respect the woman, you know, because, you know, I'm bisexual. I would respect the woman if you just ask me out on a date. We could just get to the nitty gritty where we at. But I get what you're saying. Like, they try to act like your friend, but you know, they like how weird men do. Like, they be like, oh, you can't have friends. I see your point. But this isn't a relationship stream. We'll talk about that later. But I understand what you're saying, because we're actually about to go on to Sag. But to your point, like, just ask me out on a date and I'll tell you yes or no, you know. You were born in 83. Oh, so y'all are born around the same. Yeah, those are generational planets. They did. People have to log off. Big pain, okay? That is true. That is true. You know, you right. What's right is wrong, and what's wrong is right, and what's here is there. Which I'm not mad about, because it actually, I guess you could say, the Aquarius energy challenges people to see what's still working for them and what isn't. So I'm not mad, because that's natural. Like, all societies go through those types of things. So it's that, but you know, I'm all over the place. Aquarius for life. Aquarius energy is all over the place. Aquarius just says it all. Yes, do you? They have motives. I get what you're saying. Boom, there you go, Shy. Motives. Boom, boom, boom. You know, it don't have to be that. We could just, you know, what book are you reading? You know, oh my gosh, I like your skirt. Like, you know, we're just running around, you know, kicking it. That's it. And then we about to go in the house, because now we smell like outside. You know, we're going to wash up, and then we're going to go, I don't know, go to dinner or something. Okay, K10 acting like a Scorpio Lord. But yeah, let's get into it. Maybe we'll do a stream on the age of Aquarius, since y'all have so much to say about it. Since y'all have so much to say about the age of Aquarius. But yeah. See what happens. All right, so you have Mercury, and then it's trine your ascendant, and so Mercury in the 10th house, it means detail oriented tasks at work, or you'll be known to be detail oriented, and it's harmonious to your ascendant, and so that's good. We have a good personality and get along with people well in your career and your reputation. Now your ascendant is square your sun, or is in a harsh aspect with your sun, so that means that some in connection with your life purpose and your sense of life purpose. Like last week, I did notice like Sag risings are having issues with having a sense of life purpose, and also like being tired and feeling burnt out. I do notice that with Sag risings in general, and with the sun here and it's squared, it gives issues with authenticity, not feeling authentic, and not having authentic or detailed or in-depth analysis of what type of purpose they would like to have. They're kind of like blowing in the wind. It's also trying the moon, so being popular, getting along with women, having fun, being able to speak to the public, especially as it deals with like shared resources, projects, dealing with beginnings and endings. But overall, they'll have a harmonious time with women, family, and the public. They do have it where the Mars is in opposition to the ascendant, and in that dynamic, it can create interacting with other aggressive people. So, you know, dealing with coworkers, friends, sometimes siblings, relatives, or neighbors that are aggressive to you. So they can have issues with that thing, and being tired is spot on. Yeah, like I noticed the Sag risings are like burnt out. That is weird, and especially for Sag, because they usually like to run around. But yeah. But no, dealing with aggressive people. They also have the ascendant trine Sag, and so again, dealing with things that are humorous, funny, being nice, being in a good mood. But this is to their 4th house, so having a hidden sense of like humor and joy. And so they do, it seems like they start to become more in a good mood around this time period. And this is around the Aquarius retrograde, which started yesterday. Yeah, so they're in general a good mood, but they still feel burnt out. And I guess the best way to get over this is figure out whatever issues that they have with their identity. It's having issues with identity, and I can see this clearly. But yeah, they overall had like harmony, dealing with home, family, beginnings, endings, um, mothers. Because the moon is in what, Leo, getting attention, creativity, self-expression. So, it seems like they might start moving into things that are harmonious for their self-expression and being more open, and dealing with like legacy, debts, and transformation. So trying to transform their feelings. And then Jupiter in the fourth house, the fourth house deals with things that are hidden, family members, issues from like childhood or things from before. But the abundance that they feel is still with being open-minded, getting clarity and expansion while open places. Actually, now that I think about it, because Sag loves to run around, I feel like this gives them an opportunity to get like the expansion or the life purpose from home or more hidden places. So being at home, family, and more things that are hidden versus like traveling for the expansion. Because Sagittarius, they like to move around or look for holy texts or become more spiritual or like growth. But it seems like they're getting that from being at home versus running around how they think that they're going to. I'm forever imbalanced personality wise. Lord, are y'all scaring Shy? Okay, Shy, give me a second. I'll come back to this. But yeah, Sag Risings, that's what it seems like. They're getting to their life's purpose at home more than they thought that they would, versus other places. So maybe home and family and these dynamics that are going on a more interpersonal and emotional level are giving them more transformation than they had anticipated before. So yeah, not bad. This is a good recoup time for y'all, but I don't think that's what y'all anticipated, and based off of y'all sign, I don't even think that's what y'all like, but it is what it is. Everybody gotta sit down sometimes. I felt tired all year, but this year has made me sit the F down and focus instead of traveling. You're right. Yeah, that's what I noticed. Like, y'all be burnt down. Like, I'm like, geesh. I mean, burnt. Like, not trying to be smart, but I'm like, this is a constant thing with them. So you see how this is the full moon, the new moon in Virgo, and so new moon in Virgo has to do with making changes or seeing things that aren't right and wanting to fix them or having to course correct. When your moon is here, that means by the 27th you'll probably get into dynamics where you start to begin or integrate things that you want to course correct about your life and your life purpose. Where you started, depends on your natal chart, but I could see you wanting to start and to push for things, or like, dang, maybe I'm not as fulfilled or happy doing this or being around these people, or whatever the case may be. And you still have issues with others. You still have issues with aggressive people, aggressive co-workers, also with aggressive could be like education, because Gemini rules education. It rules friends as lovers, lovers as friends. What house is this? The 7th. Yeah, co-workers, business partnerships, any other the whole idea of others. But yeah, like you'll integrate with them, and they will be aggressive. You will have to defend yourself from these types of people. Neighbors, sometimes siblings. But yeah. But yeah, let me see. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it's definitely at home. Yeah, home is where it's at. Cause you got it's kind of an envelope, but yeah, envelope. So being at home and dealing with people, like you're not gonna get out of that. And really dealing with other people and your issues, like at home versus running around and traveling the world. Because I know that's how they like to do. They like to be out and running around to get their growth. Like, nah. And I think the issue with Sag is because Sag and these Jupiter placements is that they can get expansion, not necessarily growth. So like Saturn placements like Capricorn and stuff like that, and Aquarius, they get growth through maturation, something that they have to work, earn to mature. Sag don't have that. Sag don't have that. So what that means is that they can get more is more, but there's no nothing that they had to come into maturity. And I always tell people, like, think of like a plant. You put a plant in the ground and it grows to maturity. You know, that's Saturn principles. A Sag don't have that. A Sag is like walking into a store and buying a plant that's already matured. That's Sag energy. So it seems like y'all having time to really course correct and really think about what's going on with y'all, instead of just running around and having more is more, you know. The last 2 weeks was draining, man. I think you had a Cancer, Dion, a Cancer rising. Yeah, the Cancer risings, I don't know, I feel like they dealing with like issues with people being weird with them. They have like issues with women and family. I don't know what's going on with them. I'm a Sag sun. I've been burnt out since January 1st. Can't wait till 2023. You know what? And it can also deal with like, because where Jupiter is with the retrograde, I wonder if it's that too. Like, I'll see, because I'm like, I wonder if it's giving that energy too. I guess it depends on your chart. But for big pain, who have like, you said you have early degree Sag, I guess you could be feeling that Sag retrograde, because in theory, the degree should be able to hit it. But that retrograde, if you're an early degree Sag, like your sun, like for your natal placement, you probably would have like having to deal with like past things where you had growth and expansion, and having to deal with issues of growth and expansion from the past. And in the sign of Aries, so like challenges, people who are bullies, people who are insensitive, injuries, like stuff like that. Leadership, having to go do things alone without any help. Like, so like, when you had growth and expansion, well, this is just like, okay, the price of that expansion without any maturation. So I can see that. The two things I've always avoided: being at her. I guess you're saying being at home and dealing with people. Definitely maturity time. Yeah. Definitely maturity time. You cannot get away from that. Meanwhile, I've been getting blessed for 3 weeks, and I'm going to enjoy my blessings. Rain down on the chat. Bruh. You know, kid, you ain't got no sense, because you see these people crying and you be like, that ain't me though. You ain't got no sense. Not sucks to be you. Says, sit your butt down and quit running around the damn country. Yeah, that is their thing. They actually have to just sit down and try to like figure it out. Fall into the cauldron. Where's she at? Praise him, kid. Can y'all hear me good? Cause I don't know, my tech has been crazy. Okay, cool. Just making sure, cause y'all those who was on the earlier stream, y'all already know the audio was not good. So I'm like, can y'all hear me? Okay, good. Great. But hopefully that makes sense though. But you know, I would just start for the Sagittarius. I would start recollecting, just going through and just thinking about your emotions already. Did we do Virgo rising? Aries, the Virgo risings. Yes, we did Virgo risings already. But I am gonna go back and timestamp this video, so you can watch the playback. But I will end up timestamping this video so you can keep listening to it, because I people do say that they try to listen to it more than once so they can understand what's happening. But yeah, I will timestamp it. I was trying to go back and see what you said about Aries. It's in another video, dear. It's not in this video, Shy. It's in the video before this one, and they have the same thumbnail, so you just go back to that one. The mic was in a sucker place. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know. My audio has been crazy. Because it was one stream I did for... And hopefully y'all hear me now. If it sound weird, let me know. But it was one stream that I did. And... like, for 20 minutes, I was trying to get the audio to work. I was like, dang, what in the world? I don't know. I do not know. Listen. I'm like, woo-wee. Oh, thank you. So if my moon Libra, what happened to me on the 27th? If your moon Libra, like, you shouldn't really be getting done up. Like, that's for, because Libra is what you consider a cardinal sign. So the mutable and the fixed signs are getting really they're in a way. And even under certain degree ranges, you're not in that shy. Don't worry, it's coming, because we have a Mercury retrograde coming up. So in the sign of Libra, so you want to have something, but just chill out. You really ain't got nothing. And I don't think you have the degree range. I don't think I still have your chart up. Yeah. Technically, your sun, even though you're a Virgo sun, it ain't even in degree range. You don't have no Virgo placements that's in that range. You don't. And for fixed, yeah, you don't have nothing I don't think that's in that range either. So you all right. You're fine. So you cool. Like, there's really certain signs that's going to catch it more than other people. And your signs, your stuff ain't it, y'all gotta have other stuff going on. All right, now we're gonna do the Pisces risings. That's Capricorn. There we go. Wait, this kind of in the middle. Okay. For Pisces risings, did I miss Capricorn risings? Beloved, Capricorn risings is in the previous stream. So part 1, I had already did those a few days ago. But yeah, I only hear BMORE out of my left head, but that's wild. And you want to know what? You're not the first person to say that, and I have to figure out what's going on. But listen, at least you can hear me, because I don't know what's been going on, but lately people have not been hearing me. So I'll figure it out. But I can't worry about that right here, but right now, okay? I can only worry about making sure you actually can hear me. Hopefully by next week, you can hear me out of both ears. Hopefully. Okay, B. Hopefully it's fine. Yeah, thank cause listen, how do you see singing and music in the natal chart? I've been on singing and making music hard since I sat down this year. Yeah, so there's certain placements that rule music. And so for like instance, Taurus rules singers. Aries rule like creativity or like a creative fire. Pisces can rule like art, creativity, poets. Libra can rule live music, the life of an artist to a certain extent, or creating art in art galleries. The same with Taurus to a certain extent. They kind of rule some of the art gallery energy too, and it could be that they both Venetian in origin. Cancer has that whole creative fantasy and illusion dynamic, which they do have that because of the influence of the moon. So it really depends, and it depends what they're doing in your chart too. It really depends. I was like, what y'all here? Because I'm just getting straight instrumental. Not in that left speaker. That left speaker, you can hear me loud and clear. But I'm going to figure it out. Because I'm like, dang. But yeah. No, depending on what's in your chart, some people can have that. But you know what? It actually makes me beg to think. If you have any aspects to like the transiting Neptune and transiting that Pisces placement, so it can ramp it up. All right, so Pisces risings, the Neptune in the first house is great for like meditation and all of that stuff, visualization, spirituality. The downside, and we've already discussed this before, but just to refresh your memory, can make you a little delusional, but great for meditation, great for trying to understand what's going on with yourself and your identity, because there can be a little confusion about who you are, trying to tap into, you know, your identity. Also a lot of issues with false starts and beginnings. So you'll have something that it feel like it'll go well, but it don't, and it's just random, no rhyme or reason. It's not like as if you did something horrible. It's just the placement. Neptune is then trying Pluto in the 11th house. And so Neptune in a soft aspect with Pluto gives very deep psychological aspects, dealing with your subconscious or getting into your motivation, or maybe even understanding your dreams. Like you can get into a space where everything is very deep for you. But Pluto in your 11th house can dealing with the transformation with friends, and but you have to be careful who you align yourself with, because there's certain people who can direct you into a wrong path, and can kind of lead you into like astray, because it does with Capricorn in the 11th house. It does mean that your friends are influential, and so they can lead you basically to BS. You do have the moon and the sun opposing your ascendant, and so again, dealing with people who are emotional, dealing with people who are demanding, nitpicky, dealing with issues with authenticity, issues with emotional issues, and issues with not being popular for the reason that one would want to be popular for. You're not going to be popular for what you want, you know. It's like when you popular, but you popular because people are emotional and they coming to you with stuff. Like, I know that sounds weird, but that's what you're popular for. You're not popular for, you know. And you have Jupiter in the first house, so it gives you time and energy that you want to accomplish things and take on new hobbies and tasks and get things done. But Jupiter is going to be opposed Mercury in a hard aspect. And so when Jupiter is opposed to Mercury, you're going to have positive thinking, but it's a lack of practicality. So it adds more to your confusion. Like, you think you can get stuff done, but you're not really doing well. That's why it's good that you have good relationships, so that way you can depend on these people to really help you to see the clarity that you need. And this is in the 7th house. So dealing with relationships, partnerships, co-workers, lovers or whatever, husbands, wives, or whatever, but dealing with them to help steer you clear out of confusion. So that's why this whole part right here, where you could deal with, like, even though it's a soft aspect, it can help you deal with your subconscious issues. It's the fact that Pluto's even here, where you could have issues with people who are influential, but some of them could be not what you think it is. But the confusion, again, you have with yourself makes it easy for those types of things to happen. So for the Pisces risings, try to understand who you are, so that way you can move around this type of weirdness with friend dynamics and with other people. Let's see. Ascendant is Quincunx Mercury. So issues with the mind, issues with the minds of others. Your personality makes it hard to for people to try to understand you mentally. Jupiter trine MC, having luck at work, getting a second chance at your work or your career, or getting a chance to redo things. Jupiter sextile Mars, feeling gung-ho, wanting to do tasks, feeling generous, wanting to get things done. Again, still can be delusional and miss tasks, miss details. Mars is in Gemini, so quick learning, wanting to educate, especially do things over as it pertains to messages and communication. But you just have to be careful for details, and that's why you probably have those weird false starts and doing things over and things not working out how you thought they were. So it's overall generally confusion, but yeah. Let me see this. Oh, let me come out of here real quick, because this is a little bit too high for it to be a thing. Let me see. That's way too high. Yeah. Oh, that's the same thing. Yeah. Ascendant. Square. Yeah, being aggressive. Aggressive in speech and messages. That's why you're going to have issues with other people. This won't come off inauthentic. You're going to have people that are emotional because you're acting all over the place. They're going to be like, what the heck is this? This confusion. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Just try to ground yourself and understand your psychology. Because that's what that is. Yeah. But good luck to Pisces rising, though. I want Pisces in my chart. It's better hearing your voice on the big screen. Nice voice. Oh, thank you. Transit Neptune is in my 4th, opposite Venus, conjunct Mars, 11th and 10th. So if Neptune is in your 4th and Venus, I'm assuming that Venus is in the 11th and Mars is in the 10th. That's what I'm going to assume. Venus and Mars are squared. So if that happens when Neptune is in the 4th, what you're going to see is family affairs are going to be confusing. Relatives are going to be confusing. Also can have water issues at home or wanting to be creative at home. But that's what I was saying when I said Neptune. I wonder what your Neptune placement is. So if you're if transiting Jupiter is in the 4th for Sag risings and Neptune is there, that's probably why you're singing more. Because like I told you before, like Neptune, Pisces placement. So Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. And they rule poetry. They rule the life of an artist. You're going to be singing more. But yeah, having confusion at home, but it's opposite your Venus. So when Venus and Mars conjunct, it can be like love at first sight. Like an impulsiveness with like money and action. You know? So when Venus is in the 11th house, it can give dating friends or falling in love with friends. And with Mars there, tying it to the 10th, it can also be like dating people in your career field or dating people who are powerful or influential. Or getting money by way of that, because Venus also rules that. But it also means that your crazy home life will get in the middle of all of those things and it will oppose those things. It will make it hard. It will make it hard for those things to happen. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But yeah, those things, it can make it hard. Because when they're opposed, I mean, it can give romance and creativity and imagination, but it can give like an illusion to love. Somebody's not what they appear, even though it's like a love at first sight or you really into them. And it can give you unsure action where you're like not as confident, which is unusual for a Sag rising, and especially with K10, you have all of that willpower with the Scorpio. But I'm not gonna lie though, don't get upset, but it does give energy where you could possibly be scapegoated somewhere. Someone can scapegoat you, so just be careful. I'm a Pisces. Does this fit into this conversation? It can, but I'm gonna be very specific. The Pisces rising that I just did, that is for the first house. So unless your sun is in the first house, you know, I would not do that. Now, if you are confused about what your rising sign is, I can help you figure out what it is, but I don't do it for the sun placements because it can be in 12 houses. So I would literally have to do so many videos to cover that. It's kind of hard to generalize the zodiac sign in the sun, the house placement. But I do this for rising signs because rising signs will always be in the first house. So it's easy to do it. It's easy to do all of it. Now, if you're a person who has the sun in the first house, then you really could do it. I have my natal chart. I just need to read how to understand it. Any books you could recommend? I read a lot of books, so I might come up with a book list for y'all, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's hard for me to remember book titles and authors, so I might have to sit down and look for a book list. And it's one of them where they do teach you how to read charts quickly, like in person, like how I'm doing it, just reading it like that. They do teach you, and that's good for people who want to just learn how to read it in general. Just read it straight like that. So if I can remember that book, that's going to be on the list too. It makes sense. And the scapegoat thing happened last year. Yeah, but it's transiting, so it's transiting. But you know, big blessings. You know, because Neptune is not leaving until I think next year in that opposition, and Venus and Mars. They'll leave in a few, but Mars will be retrograded, so it might stay there. So I don't know. It's giving strong scapegoat energy. So you should be careful because Mars is going to retrograde around October, I think. So like, I wouldn't be shocked if you get scapegoated around October for something that happened like before that it is not currently happening. It's weird, but just watch it. Just be careful, okay? I can see the scapegoat energy. But yeah, something from the past just scapegoated again, and under the sign of Gemini too. So, all right, y'all. Any more questions? Cause it's what 11. Cause I think I might. I actually have to do some stuff, but I actually might make something. I don't know. I might make me some food. Make some food for the house. Thank you. And is in Gemini, so I watch it. Yeah, girl. Yeah, really watch it. Really, really watch it. You be really, really careful, because your North Node is a life path. So one could argue that whatever happens with the scapegoating, it was supposed to happen. But good luck. No, I'm not going to hold you up. Timestamp. Oh, thank you, dear. But yeah, should I go to the previous video and the timestamps are in there, and just click on Aries and you'll be fine. But yeah, should I go to the previous, not this one? If you want to re-listen to this one, that's fine. Node is a life path. Yes, it is a life purpose. It can indicate life purpose. The South Node can indicate life debt. A debt from a previous life or a debt from this life that hold over. But that's what the nodes represent. you know, things that the soul want to experience, because the nodes aren't planets or anything. They're midpoint, they're calculated midpoints. So any other questions, guys? Yeah, like on the 28th I'll come back and I'll do the zodiac thing. That's another thing. I'll probably be on earlier, so I'll on the 28th I'm thinking about coming on at 3 so it don't run as late, because I realize like around 10 or 11 a lot of people have to be like, listen, I have to go to work in the morning, blah blah blah. I feel that, so I might start the lives like around 3, and so that can we run through the zodiac signs, and then, you know, bam bam bam. But yeah, so the 28th at 3 we'll be going live, and we'll be doing that week's horoscope. The only reason why y'all have a part 2 is because there was 4 zodiac signs that weren't in the previous video, and I wanted y'all to have that for the stuff that was going on with the retrograde and the full moon coming on the 27th, and so that way, you know, y'all not left out. Will you make videos about specific astrology topics like nodes? Sure, K10, I'll make videos about that. I'm at work right now. Well, be safe at work. But yeah, I will make specific videos about certain things, and I think that would be helpful. Like, I actually have an idea to come up with certain things, but we'll see, because I actually was thinking about an idea about rising signs and then their second and eighth house, which second house deals with like money, and sometimes you get a lot of questions about money or romance. And so thinking about what the rising sign deals with, what happens when your rising sign is in a certain zodiac sign, and what happens with money, how you experience money or like abundance because of where the placements are, or also like romance and stuff like that because of what's in the placement. But we'll see. But I was like, that might not be a bad idea. I'll experiment with it, like, to see if I like it, and that might be pre-recorded, you know. So, because I notice people ask about those 2 things the most, you know. Not when my dreams come true. They be like, I love Shaquita, do you think we'll get married? I'm like, oh, okay. Wow, that was a lot. But yeah, they ask questions like that, or when I'm gonna make this money. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a question, but I will, as long as the thunder don't hit us, I'm good. I didn't know you work outside, kid. I didn't know you worked outside. But yeah, career, money, love. Most people's got. Yeah, that's really where it's at. I'll check again. I have to get some rest. Good evening. Bye, Jermaine. Jermaine, make sure you if you're still confused, just shoot me a message, and I'll help you figure out your rising sign. The airport. Okay, that's not bad. All right, y'all, I have got to go, but y'all be safe, you know, love and blessings, and, you know, Mercury is opposition to my north node. Jen, hold on to that. We'll talk about that the next time. You know, that might be on the north node video that, you know, y'all asking about. But y'all be safe though. I love y'all. Peace.